Welcome to summer. Well, or I should say spring. It's a beautiful summer day. Well, once again, I should say spring day in Kansas. That's where I'm at. Sunday afternoon. Now, this particular week, it'll see you getting more into starting the idea of algorithms, starting to work with calculations, and getting more into the meat and potatoes of working with Visual Basic. Now, there were a few questions last week, and that was in reference to the idea of the videos. Now, you have to understand the idea of the videos it's another way to present your information. They're not required, right? But if you have compatibility issues and I can't read your program or I can't run your program, I'm going to ask you to create a video and send it to me anyway, because I want to bypass the compatibility issues if that occurs. So some people take it upon themselves to say, okay, I've done the program, now I'm going to walk through the rubric about how it's graded, I'm going to show the instructor where it's at. Once again, that's not a requirement, but understand that part of the reason that I said, hey, that's an option is because I spend every semester, students might not turn in all the assignments so I can run the program. Students might turn in part of it so I can't run everything, and then I have to play tag with them trying to get stuff in. So I just put that out there as, hey, here's a possibility. Now, so far the discussions are good. This week it was, last week it was more read-only and some of the naming, using naming conventions. Understand that when you start experimenting with the naming conventions of things, that's going to be super important. That's when you get into LBL, TXT, you start getting to naming your variables, STR, your integers, INT, things along those lines. And the idea behind it is that when I see a list of variable names or I see a list of object names, I can clearly see what those objects mean and what those variables mean based off the name. So if I see something called str name, I know that, hey, that's a string variable that probably has a name in it. If I see something called txt name, I know that that's a text box probably meant for somebody input a name into it. I could also do txt name input and have the same idea. So any way you cut it, just as you go through, you watch the announcements, you take a look at the micro lesson, kind of pay attention to those things. Visual Basic is very good springboard language. And if you have any concerns or questions, feel free to send me an email. Feel free to, if it gets right down to the wire, you can always give me a text, but I prefer email that I can respond and then respond to students. If there are any questions about anything along those lines, let me know. Otherwise, it was a good discussion this week. Keep up the discussion, and let's see what you have to say. Thank you for your time.